Hey everybody, and welcome back to our channel here at David Christopher's. It's David and Jen with you today, and we have been all over the place lately decorating for Christmas, and we are back at home base today doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, so today we're actually going to dress a mannequin.
Mannequin Madness is a company located in California, and Judy reached out to me and said, hey, would you guys be interested in decorating one of our mannequins? And I said, it sounds awesome. David has decorated mannequins in the past for store displays and things like that. I've even seen people decorate mannequins for their home. So you don't have to have a store to decorate a mannequin and make it look beautiful in your home. You can make it for your store or your home. And this particular mannequin today is, David's going to do a theme?
Yeah, we're gonna stick with our Joyeux Noel because I've done kind of foliages and berries and greenery, pine, cypress, that kind of things on a mannequin, and then covered the top half in berries and things like that before. And I've done a couple other colors, but I've never done this kind of champagne cream pink combination, so I'm really excited to see how that turns out.
Alright, so we'll get started.
So as you can see, I've actually already attached a small roll of chicken wire to my mannequin's lower half. So we'll do something a little tighter to the top half. But for this, we're gonna keep this really form-fitted in the top half, and for the lower half, we're gonna make this very flowing and fill that part with pine because that's really the easiest thing to do. You can, if you want to and you feel like you have infinite number of hours to spend, you could go in and actually fill this completely with other product and not have that green background behind it. But for this video, we're going to do it fast and quicker, easier way. We're going to add some pine garland to our base. What we're going to do is we're going to attach our garland and let it come down just a little bit past the mannequin's chicken wire dress here, and we can cut there, or if we want to go all the way down, you could always go all the way down to ground if you prefer to, but for this we're just going to go about here. And then we're going to shape all of this pine more down instead of having it typically with a garland we do it three-dimensionally, we do it where the backside might be a little flat, but for this we're really going to shape everything more down. And you can take a little piece of pine and stick it in your chicken wire and come back around through the chicken wire with it, and that will keep it nice and tight to that chicken wire if you don't want a very ballooned effect for your mannequin's dress.
The mannequins that we're using, David, I don't know if you know this, but they actually can be recycled. So this particular company recycles mannequins, and if you own a store and you have mannequins you don't want, you can contact them to have your mannequins recycled. And also, how cute would this be if you're a store, a boutique, and maybe you sell women's clothing and you don't necessarily sell a lot of Christmas? You could always dress your mannequin like this to be so cute, but incorporate some products and put a little display in your containers around the mannequin and actually sell those products and merchandise those to sell a few things that maybe you're typically not into selling. What do you think about that?
I always think it's a good idea to sell things you're not selling.
To sell things you're not selling?
To use other products that you may not currently be selling. I like diversifying.
So diversify your shop and try to see what works for you, because you never really know what's going to work until you try it. made myself a skirt.
A grass skirt.
A pine needle skirt. It is not comfortable.
We're comfortable.
Very prickly.
So we're actually finished with putting our pine on our mannequin, and as you can see, I've got a little longer on one side, a little shorter on the other side, so I'm doing kind of an asymmetrical cut on her little pine skirt here. And at the top, really what we've done is we've kind of pulled the pine to the sides to really finish covering the chicken wire at this part, and then the rest of the pine really needs to be shaped down. It really gives us a little bit more of a tailored look. I know some of them sometimes are really wide, but for this, we're just going to try and keep it a little tighter.
We are working on covering her top half, and this is actually, is this a placemat? What is this?
I'm not really sure what this was.
We don't know what this is, but it's something we had, but you could use any kind of fabric that you want. This is a piece of furry fabric, and so we're kind of just fluffing it to make it stand up and have some shape to it. David is tacking that on the sides with some little pins. What are these pins that you're using?
These are number 20 bank pins.
You want to show everyone?
They're just
little pins.
very,
see that?
very small pins.
Yeah. So you won't be able to see those in her attire. They cover up nicely. And I need to grab one. I feel like a tailor. Uh-oh, I think I've hit a bone.
You gotta go in.
I'm in sideways, but there we go. Just trying to go a little too deep, I think. Oh, no, maybe my pin fell out. It did. Here it is. Oh, I see. It's like her side.
Yeah, so it's a plastic base. So really our only options are to glue onto it or to pin into the sides of it, where you're only pinning into the fabric because you cannot penetrate the plastic that's underneath this particular mannequin.
Awesome. So she now has her top half covered.
No more censoring.
No more censoring.
Although it is backless.
It is backless. That's okay.
So far.
Sometimes mannequins that are not dressed make people uncomfortable. We've had people that worked here before and would walk through the warehouse and see a mannequin with no clothing and be like, so we try to keep them nice and clothed.
At this point, we're going to start adding our cream colored pine into our green pine, because I really want this to have a lighter color at the base. And because of the chicken wire and everything, it allows us to really not do a whole lot to add this. We just want to space everything fairly evenly, so don't overlap too much, because this is supposed to be a designer dress. So now you can see that we've actually started adding this rose quartz colored pine that's a little more sparkly into our mannequin, because we want to bring a little bit of this color down into the base and I'm actually cutting some of these apart a little bit so I can get them placed in the right areas. And we're just twisting a little bit of the garland that we placed in earlier to secure that exactly where you want it to be so it doesn't come out. Make sure to go all the way up on the dress. Now we're going to take this strawberry colored pine that's actually got an ombre color, like from a dark, almost wine, to a lighter pink, and then into this cream color. And we're going to use this around the midsection here. We're trying to do as much of this as possible without glue and lots of extra things, so that you could do this with whatever you have lying around you. And a pair of wire cutters. Might need that. We've got our belt kind of in place, and we're going to use this rose quartz colored ombre ribbon that's got this little ombre platinum glitter edge on the side. We're going to cut a few strips of that, and we're going to start by tucking it up toward the top, and then we're going to let it curl a little bit. And then we're going to let it curl again. Make sure that your curls are fairly even. You may have to go back in and make sure. Now we're actually going to add some of these metallic Magnolia Leaves, and I am going to cut those apart, and I may actually glue a few of these on. this is actually a Sure Bonder glue gun that has a heating charging station, I guess, and the gun itself will stay warm for a little while. So I'm going to try and glue this without gluing it to the mannequin. So I'm just adding the glue to the leaves and then gluing the leaves together so that when we're done, we can pull all this off and reuse the mannequin completely. I'll turn this around to this side. Okay. I like to use different size leaves. Don't use all, because these have multiple sizes on the same branch. I don't necessarily want to use all large ones or all small ones or try to get them too uniform. It makes them look much better to mix the sizes. And just press for a minute. So I've got my strap and it's loose, so instead of gluing that and rendering our mannequin glued, I'm just going to use a few pins and pin it into the back of the mannequin so that it's nice and tight. And so our leaf structure actually goes around the back and kind of spirals into this other part of the dress, and then our leaves kind of continue down here. So I'm going to continue filling the this part of our dress up a little bit with some of these leaves. Now I'm going to use this ginkgo leaf spray, and I've actually pulled all the leaves apart of it from it because I want to make myself a nice little brooch for her dress that kind of coordinates with everything else. So I'm just separating out the leaves. And then wiring them together. So here we are, almost finished. So once you've gotten to this point, you can kind of bend everything into place thanks to the nice wire from our ginkgo leaf. And then I'm just going to take a couple of pins and I'm going to pin this through.
And there you have it, a beautiful mannequin ready to go on display in the store. This mannequin has actually been designed by David with our Joyeux Noel theme. So if you go to davidchristopher.com and click on Shop by Theme, you can pick the Joyeux Noel and find all the products that you see here except for this lovely piece of fur that's just an add-on piece.
Just have to find some fabric that works for you.
Right. And for the mannequin, check out mannequinmadness.com and for all of your store display and mannequin needs. We'll see you next time.